Okay, let's start. Good morning or good evening, everybody. My name is Lev. My colleague Maria will help me today.
Hello, everyone.
To tell you about the update of TrueConf client application, the version 8.4. We will share the slide deck. My colleague Ivan will help us to demonstrate the new features. I begin the presentation. You should see the slide deck. So we spent approximately half a year, 6 months for this update. It started even before the release of the previous version of our client application, which was the version 8.3. We designed this new version to be compatible with a previous version of TrueConf server, and mostly, and first of all, it was designed to support the new features of the next release version of TrueConf server, version 5.4. But because the 5.4, the next version of TrueConf server is not released yet, it is due for release in April. We will demonstrate you only the features of the new client application, which are available with the current version of our TrueConf server, 5.3 or 5.2, depending on what version do you have. So all the features you will see today are already available. The client application was released already. It is available for Windows from our website. It will be shortly available from Apple Store for desktop application on Macs. It is also already available for many different versions and distros of Linux if you are using Linux. From our website and from the repositories we have for different distros of Linux. So let's start. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in chat. If you have any comments regarding the audio or video of the current webinar, just let us know. We assume that you can see and hear us well. So let's go. So first of all, and which is quite important feature, we added the new type of layout. In this type of layout, only one window, only one participant, or only a single content video is visible, while all other participants are hidden. They do not consume the bandwidth, but most importantly, it allows us to see the content in a full scale size. So before that, we had two types of layouts: the symmetric layout, which is also called gallery view, where every participant has the same size on the screen, and we had priority layout. We still have it, but it was the second and the only available option is priority layout, where one participant or his content is large while everybody else is smaller. We will show you in a moment. But now we are adding the third type of layout, where we have, in addition to the priority mode with one large window, a bunch of small windows, we have the single window mode, where only one video window or content window is visible. And because of the support of very high quality content like 4K content, it is now possible to receive full scale content in a full size view, and this way you will be able to see all the details of the content inside the application. So let's have a look on how this works. I will ask my colleague Ivan to assist. Ivan, please share your screen and please demonstrate us how it will look like. Ivan is preparing the demo. Just a moment.
Yes, Lev. Hello, hi to all. You not show the presentation, and one moment. Okay, now I will show you my application.
Just start any conference and with multiple participants. So now this is a gallery view or symmetric view. This is the first type of layout we still have and have for many years. So now we'd like to make someone larger. For that, we double click someone and it becomes larger while it doesn't take the full size of the window. Other participants are also visible. And we have different types for priority layout. For example, Ivan, could you please press Alt-3, Alt-2 to show the different types of priority layout? Yeah, for example, this one. That's enough. Yeah. So we are not utilizing the full size of the screen for the content, but now it is possible to double click on the priority window to allow it to take the full size of the window. So now only one participant or his content is visible, no others. We also created a special floating window. You can see it on the right. It is stick to the right side of the application window, where the latest person who joined the conference with video or the recent or person who recently spoke visible or active speaker is displayed. Otherwise, this video window will collapse. So in addition to the user or content you have selected, which is displayed in a single window, you are able to see people who are speaking. You are able to see people who are also presenting or took podium during a conference. So it creates additional feedback for the user who is selected someone. So it doesn't look like it is a video call or point-to-point call. The user will fully understand that he is in a group conference and there are other participants, but only one user is selected. By default, we try to display the content in this new mode. So if someone will start to share content, it will be displayed in this full single window mode. If someone will speak without the content, it will be displayed in the priority mode with other participants visible as well. We will only highlight, make larger the speaking person. So those improvements will make a more smooth experience, better automatic layouts for users. Of course, it's possible to control this process manually, but we always try to make this automatic for many different cases. So that will make a big difference for your users. So they will be able to see the content in the full details, and they will be able to see larger the people who are speaking without actually touching any kind of settings. It will happen automatically. And any moment we can switch to the manual mode and manually change the different types of layout in the application, moving people around. So this is the first new feature of the new client application 8.4. And Ivan, thank you. Let's go forward.
Actually, Lev, I have a question to you. So is this video conferencing layout available only in a symmetric video means or in other modes too?
This single video window mode is available for all types of conferences. In every type of conference we have, it is available. So actually in the conference, there could be many people who share his or her screen or slides or video files, whatever. And any source of the content can be maximized in this new mode. So we can actually switch between people who is sharing the full size content because we don't have any limitation on how many content streams could be in the conference. So like every user could be a source of the content and it doesn't connect it in any way with the type of conference. It only connected with the logic of the display of the layout because conference rules are applied for the participant roles while layout display is connected with the changes I have described. Okay. We also decided to hide a little bit the layout settings because for many users it is too complicated to select the preferred layout view, and we always try to select this automatically. That's why we created a special dialog window for layout settings, which has now larger descriptions, larger icons for new users to better understand which mode they're going to select. And most importantly, we by default enable the automatic settings. So active speaker layout and automatic spotlight the content. So no need to change those settings. And if the user tried to move people around or make someone larger manually, those automatic checkboxes will be disabled for this particular conference, but they will be enabled again in the next conference. So we always try to maintain this automatic way of how the layout is presented, because users usually have different screen size, screen resolution, window application proportion. It could be more horizontal application, more vertically oriented application. It depends on the preference of the user, because we can resize windows, and it is important to take control of how the layout is presented to the user to deliver the best possible experience with less black spaces, less unused space in the conference. Okay. The next feature, Maria, please tell us.
Yeah, as you know, we are constantly developing AI technologies in our desktop client application, and we are happy to present you the new one. This feature allows you to replace your background with your shared content. So it allows you to create more live presentation, to comment some things in your slideshow. So it creates some like online experience in your meetings.
So basically, we can cut off the background and apply you to the slide deck. So let's have a look. Ivan, do you have such demo? Can you please show us?
And also,
Yes, okay.
this feature is available only when you share your screen, not the slide deck.
Yes, because in our system, when you share presentations, we deliver presentation as a separate images. That's why it's more convenient to use with a desktop sharing. So right now, Ivan is sharing his desktop, and his video is mixed to the video stream of his desktop. And we also introduced the settings, which allows to move the silhouette, the frame with the user around, so we can make the video of the presenter, the person who is presenting, we can move it around. We can make it larger or smaller. So we have a special setting for that, which are preserved during conferences. So it is even possible to rotate a person and stick it to the ceiling, let's say, of the content. But the idea is that this way is allow us to present something with less coverage, because otherwise, if we display the rectangular video for the presenter, it will hide some part of the content. And this way, when we remove the background around the presenter, we allow to show more content through the eliminated background of this presenter. So this improves a little bit the overall user experience of the conferences. And it also looks nice. It looks cool. It's something new.
Interesting, yeah, something impressive.
Thank you, Ivan. Let's move forward. Maria, please go on.
And now during the conference, you can sort participant according to different settings. For example, alphabetically, it is the simplest way. Also, you can sort them according to their activity. For example, if some participants turn on their microphones, they will be the first people in the list. They turn off their microphone, they come below. And also, it is possible to moderate the active participants during the meeting with this feature.
Sometimes I'd like to add that not just sometimes, it is quite often our customers, they have quite large conferences with hundreds of participants, and it is quite difficult to find people who should present next and find people who should be invited to present, to take the podium, for example, based on their name. And for that, we have a search. Of course, you can filter people by search field, but it is more convenient to introduce new types of sorting, which allow us to move to the top of the list people with specific statuses. It could be a raised hand, it could be microphone activity, or position of a participant in the layout. So you can enable those checkboxes, and we mix different sorting rules for you to make it more convenient to search specific people and apply as a moderator or host some actions to them. We can even track activities of the participant and also include this to the sorting. list, sorting rules. For example, if a person presented recently, he can move to the top of the list.
And now, when you chatting, we added the built-in PDF viewer. So right now you can open PDF files right in our desktop client application and view all the documents that were sent it to you in chat. Very convenient feature for me because I receive many files during my workday, and now I don't need other system applications to open them. I can do it just in my client application.
Most importantly, other file types are also supported, so we can use the built-in viewer not just for PDF files, but we can use it for any types of images, any types of audio files, and any types of video files. So in addition, in contrary to the previous version of the client application, we don't need to leave the TrueConf application and open other system application which is associated with those types of files. We can preview those files inside our application, which significantly saves some time for users. We do not change the context of the user. He remains in our application, and any moment by right-clicking on the file, we can open the file with a application which is associated with these types of file in the system. So we can do both. And let's say if we receive PDF file, we want to sign it in Acrobat, for example, we can right-click and open it with the system application, or we can just left-click and preview it inside TrueConf without any issues, and the same is applied for different types of files as well. Ivan, can you please show us how it looks like for PDF files and for video files?
Yes, of course. Now I'm sharing. So we have a PDF file in our chat, demo chat.
This file is 7 megabytes large. It's a pretty big file. It'll take a while for import for the first time. Let's wait a little bit.
Yes, import.
So now we can see the pages of the document. We can also open the preview pane in our viewer, so you can move across pretty large files. It could be electronic book, for example, or large reports, so you can move around not by scrolling, but selecting pages you want to have a look at. It is also possible to zoom in, zoom out, and download of the file. You can forward the file to other participants any moment. So you can, for example, zoom a specific part of the document and bring up, for example, the lasso tool or screenshot tool, and highlight some important parts with additional arrows, some text commands above the content you have received. So this is quite useful because we're still in the same application. And Ivan, please show us how it looks like for video files as well. So any video file can be played back. It is also important when you play back video file or audio file to select the audio playback device. So for that, we added in the viewer the ability to change the audio playback device. So instead of, by default, we play back videos to the speakers used for the conference, but you can change that and the video file or audio file will be played back, let's say on your laptop speakers, for example, or somewhere else. Where you selected to do. And the same is available for images. If we open image, we also added the ability to rotate image, download image, zoom images, and move around. So we can click left and right arrows to change images and move around. Actually, in the chat, group chat or channel, there could be many images. And this way we can browse images without actually closing the viewer, because in the previous release it was required to click on the cross or press escape to exit the preview and open another image. Now you don't need to open every image. You can move around images using your arrow keys. So we continue to improve the collaboration features of our chat, and that was one of them. Ivan, thank you. let's go. Let's continue with the slide deck. Maria, please go on.
Yeah, so right now we have a new feature, and it is an indication of the content sharing. For moderators, it is very convenient to see who of participants has started sharing his or her content, presentation, slideshow, or desktop, and the moderator can always stop content sharing or manage it somehow.
And what is also important, it is also possible to see who is actually sharing the content.
Yeah, so we have a special indicator right near the name of this person.
Quite often, people, participants of the conference, they forget to stop the content sharing, and they continue to show their desktop some email application or personal messenger application, which is not convenient usually for work conferences. So now any owner or any moderator of a conference can manually disable the content sharing session from that user. He remains in the conference. We don't need to kick him like before. But we can stop just the content being shared. So we can stop the slide deck sharing, we can stop the desktop sharing, we can stop the application sharing, or any other media type sharing, because now we can right-click his video or content and immediately share this stream of the content. The same can be applied to the participant list of the conference.
And we don't need to shout, please stop sharing your content, your desktop.
Oh, John, please stop it. You're showing your
private chat
to everybody. Yeah, don't do that. So now we can avoid that. Okay. The next demo will require us to invite to this conference my colleague Dmitry. Dmitry, please show us. We finally add support for the new version of OBS virtual camera, because after the release of OBS software 7 and later, they changed how the virtual camera is treated, and we needed to support it. So finally, we added support for OBS camera for Windows, for Mac, for Linux, for all desktop operating systems. So I'm stopping the content. Dmitry, please go on.
Hi everyone. For now, I'm using my integrated webcam, but some magic. And now you can see the OBS virtual camera. And so I'll show my screen to prove this. This is OBS Studio, and the virtual camera is active, so I can use it.
This is actually very convenient, because now when you work with OBS and you create a specific, I don't know, demonstration, which is video rich with media rich demonstration, which should be better than just a slide deck. So you can create a very specific video from OBS, and you can use it as your camera, and you can send it to the conference. You can enrich the conference, the content from your camera. You can create some specific stream. So OBS allows to do a lot of things. And now in OBS software, we have a dedicated button, a virtual camera, and immediately you press it in TrueConf application, you will be able to change your camera to that OBS virtual camera, like Dmitry showed us right now. Dmitry, thank you. So this is also an important change. We added support for the new virtual camera in OBS software for version 28, 29, and 30.
And actually, this feature was the most popular in our community, and now we are happy to represent it to you. So please try this, test it.
There was many requests for that.
many requests in our users' communities.
Okay, the next feature is about ODP file type. Actually, ODP is becoming more and more popular. Basically, it is an open source version of PowerPoint PPT files. So now it is possible to import ODP presentations to inside our applications to create a slide decks. I'd like to remind that for you that slide decks can be edited inside TrueConf application, so we can mix different slides from different sources. We can create a slide deck from PDF file, PPT file, ODP file, images, whatever you have. And we can save this slide deck and reuse it later in any conference. So we just added support for new file type for presentations. And very similar to PowerPoint integration, ODP integration requires us to have on the computer from where we import ODP files to the slide deck to have LibreOffice or similar Office applications installed. Similar to PowerPoint in the way that when you import PowerPoint files in TrueConf application, you should have PowerPoint application installed in your system or Office package installed in your system, because we can only render and create images from presentation using original Microsoft libraries or original LibreOffice libraries. And please pay attention to that. So we are not able to process those files without installed Office tools. ODP is also becoming more and more popular. Now it is recommended, for example, by Google. When you save Google spreadsheets, Google presentations, Google drawings, you can choose ODP format as well. And many of our customers who are running Linux infrastructure who are using Linux desktop operating systems, they use ODP format by default, of course, because PowerPoint is not available on Linux. So we added support for that as well.
Yeah, it is great that you can upload your presentation in advance and use it during the meeting in any convenient time.
Okay. Maria, please
Yeah.
go on.
So during a conference, you can manually make some settings. You can use a very convenient, very user-friendly button. It is situated near your conference name, and it is like letter I. So you can click this small button and edit some conference option. For example, you can moderate waiting rooms. We will tell you about this a little bit later. Also, you can lock the meeting so no other participants can join your meeting anymore. Also, you can change your conference ID, and your conference will have a new ID, and no people who didn't know your conference ID can enter it anymore. Also, you can apply a PIN code for the meeting, and I think that it is more convenient than when you go to real-time meeting management. There are lots of options, lots of other settings, and right now you have just one click and edit all you want.
Just be very careful with those settings, because if in real time, while the actual conference is going on, if you change the conference ID, which is now possible, the link for the conference will change as well. And people with the old link will not, with old invitation, will not be able to join. So you can use this to protect your current conference. And the same is true for the PIN code protection. So if you enable the PIN code, and people who not inside the conference and who doesn't know the PIN code will not be able to join it anymore. So changing the conference ID, changing the PIN code is actually very similar to the conference lock. Conference lock is also available in this window. So you can lock the conference and it will be blocked for everybody. Your local users, federated users, guest users, only specific group of administrators, which we call operators, which are defined on your server, will be able to join the locked conference because they should do that. This is a specific type of users who assist users with the conference management, and they should be able to join any type of conference, but everybody else will be prohibited from joining a conference. And also, please pay attention that in the same dialog window, we can enable the waiting room forwarding. So not when we plan the conference, when we schedule the conference, but inside the conference, we can in real time enable the waiting room. And we have to select which users should be forwarded to the waiting room. It will be not very efficient if we forward every user to the waiting room, because waiting rooms are designed for security. It is designed for usually conferences with guest access. with users who join remotely from other servers or who are not authenticated. They just created their name and joined using the link. So when we enable waiting room, we have different strategies and we have to select. For example, if we enable waiting room in real time for the public conference, which is available for everybody, we can redirect to the waiting room on the guest users or federated users. If we enable the waiting room for the private conference, which is designed for the local users, we can select a different strategy. For example, we can put to the waiting room everybody, but except for invited in advance users. When we create a conference, we can select the participants who should be invited. And for some reason, some invited people didn't join the conference. So we can allow them to join without the waiting room, to join directly, to join through the waiting room, while all other local users will be redirected there. So you have to select the appropriate strategy for the waiting room. Right, it is now possible to do in real time. We got some questions. So Anwar, we do not support doc as a content at the moment. We're going to add support for XLS, Excel files and document files and RTF files in the next version of the application. But please pay attention that Word files, Microsoft Office files in general, we will not be able to correctly display them. There could be some minor differences in fonts and size of some objects because there is no direct way from Office tools to render a document, which usually A4 or letter format, which is vertically oriented document, to the content inside the conference. But we will add the preview of such documents inside of our chats, but it's just not available at the moment. We're working on that. Vicky, thank you for the question. The question is, can I switch an internal conference into a public one in that pane? Vicky, unfortunately, no. Once you create a conference, its type, public or private, cannot be changed. So this is done for security reasons. So you have to be very careful if your conference is public or your conference is private. By default, all conferences which are created by users are private. It is not possible to join for guests for private conferences. This is done for security reasons. So what we can do for you, for example, we can change the default behavior. Let's say we can, with technical support assistance, you can make that all conferences your users create will be public, for example. But it is not possible to change the type in real time because it is affected deeply in many things in our server, how the conference are treated, which conference can be accessed from different protocols and different systems. So you have to select carefully before you start which type of conference it will be. If you usually have remote connections, guest connections to the conferences, please create public conference always and protect it using PIN codes or protect it using the methods I described before with the log meeting settings.
And also adding about waiting room, actually always moderator received the special notification that someone has joined the waiting room, but also you can find all the participants that are still in the waiting room at the end of your participants list. So you need to scroll down and see all the people that would like to connect to your meeting.
Actually, you can see what Maria is describing on the right side of this slide. So there are notification, let's say bell, notifications bell. If you click on that bell, you will see all the incoming requests for people who are still waiting for your decision in the waiting room, and you have to decide what have to do with it, what you would like to do with them. And of course, the list of people in the waiting room are presented and displayed in the participants panel as well, so you can scroll down and see them. Okay, Maria, please go on.
Yeah, and now for our Windows application, we supported the ability to share your screen without upcoming pop-up notifications. So when you are in a meeting and it is very important for you to share your screen and you want someone to see a notification that maybe your personal, in some private chats, now it is possible for other users not to see all your private messages during your screen sharing.
Unfortunately, this feature is only available for Windows users because on Mac and Linux subsystems, there are many different ways how to render the application, and those operating systems are not allowing us to fully control the different layers of the windows which we can capture or not capture. So for Linux and Mac, we recommend to turn off disable notifications during the meetings and enable them afterwards. But for Windows, we will automatically hide all personal and group chat notifications. When you capture the full screen, they will never appear inside your content stream. So that also brings additional privacy for your meetings. Adelina, the name of my colleague is Maria.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, Maria, please go on.
Yeah, and now with our new version of our application, you cannot miss the desired person whom you want to talk to. You can switch the notification and the user when it appears online. You receive a pop-up notification and you can immediately call or chat this user, your colleague. And also, you can do it for many people, many your colleagues, not for the only one. And it is available for even a group of people. So many users can be notified with this feature.
So basically, you can right-click on the group of users in your address book and select this option for notifying when they will become online. What does it mean online? Online means that user was offline. For example, he wasn't using the application, he was traveling, and once he will become online from his mobile phone, or if he opens his, let's say,
desktop application.
Open desktop application, turn the lid of the laptop, you will immediately see the notification. And the second most common situation is when the user was a part of the group conference or point-to-point video call. So user was basically busy in other conference or call, and you don't want to wait when the user will stop to being busy. You just set up this notification on him, and when he will hang up the call or will exit the conference, you will immediately see this notification. And this notification window is also smart. If user will become again busy, and before you see that notification, we will show you that that user unfortunately is busy again or offline again, and you can from that window you will be able to reschedule you the notification for the next moment he will become available, so you will never miss that user. So make sure that your goal to finally speak with some of your colleagues when he or she will become available will be done.
And also we have such pop-up notification for your missed calls. So if you missed someone's call, we also send you a notification and you can call back this person.
Yes, so once you open the application, those pop-ups will follow you. So they're very visible. When you open the list of the call history panel, it is not very obvious to see some changes there. We highlight the changes. We display you like a small orange circle in the history calls, in the calls history window, but this black pop-up window is more convenient to see that some of your colleagues were looking for you, or some of the colleagues you were looking for is now available. Vicky, we're working on the spell checker. It is not available yet. We understood that many users nowadays, they really rely on spell checker. they don't know the grammar, or they speak many different languages. They're not sure of the grammar for the foreign language, for example. So yes, it can be done. There are many tools for that. We are just not introduced it. We're working on that. The next change is for proxy settings. We used to have manual proxy settings, let's say back in 2015 or 16, 7 to 8 years ago. It was the TrueConf application version 6. Now we have a TrueConf application version 8.4. And we decided to bring back the manual settings for proxy because many customers, they are not using operating system proxy settings, and they need to maintain different proxy settings for specific applications. So now it is possible for TrueConf application to provide manual proxy settings, and all connections, all network connections from TrueConf applications specifically will only go through that proxy. So you can channel all communications from our application to a specific internet channel or whatever will be on the other side of that proxy. Additionally, we had before the system proxy settings, which is also available, but now you can do this manually as well. Images scrolling, we just
we have showed. Yeah, so now you can scroll images just right in the chat, and you don't need to exit the viewer and to click on another image that were sent to you in chat.
For group chats, for collaboration, not for conferencing, but for collaboration, we continue to improve the user experience with chats. So we added the option for automatic download of different types of files. You have to select which types of content should be automatically downloaded inside your chats. It could be photo, video, and files like documents. By default, we enable automatic download for photos. So that means when you open the chat, not when you open the application, but when you open the chat, we will start to automatically download images in that chat, which is unread, which you didn't see yet. And you don't need to click on every image and download it. It will be downloaded in the background, so it will just save you a couple of clicks, and it will not create a lot of bandwidth usage from the server, because this automatic download can only start when you open a chat, not when you synchronize the list of chat, because every day when you, let's say, come back from your lunch, you have hundreds of unread chats and messages. So we do not download them automatically until you open that chat.
Lev, can we limit the storage that will be used for saving these files, images? Can we limit it somehow?
Not yet, not possible. So we will take all the space available for TrueConf application on the drive where the application is installed. By default, all downloaded files and images are stored in the folder, which is called, depending on the operating system, it is usually the user folder, app data, and inside that app data folder, we have the storage for the downloaded files. So it is possible to create automation scripts. There are specific tools for that in Windows, in Mac, and for Linux. So we can automatically, let's say, clean files which are older than 1 month, for example. And it is not a problem to delete files on your local machine, because they can be any moment synchronized from the server. So they store forever safely on the server. So our technical support can assist with that if your users are experiencing any issues with the amount of data they have downloaded from their chats. We started the process for snippets generation and the link support. So the first version is very basic. We now understand the links. So it is possible to copy just a link from the message and use links to open, let's say, a mail application or websites, so we understand the context. But most importantly, many people exchange links for, let's say, Google Documents. It could be some specific links for the messengers or some other applications. So our idea is to show you the preview of the links being exchanged in chat. So we started that process, and in following versions, the snippets will be generated with some preview, some images, some descriptions of the object, file, or document which is located behind that link, if we are able to access it, of course. So it will be easier to find information inside the chat about those files. Maria, please.
Yeah. So we have introduced more user-friendly box with emoticons, and now we have your favorite ones. So the such smiles that you are using mostly will be appear at the top of the list, and you can scroll the list of emoticons right now to find the desired ones.
And no need to click on the types of emojis. So you can scroll it and we will change the chapters, the segments of those emojis automatically. And for emojis, I'd like to remind that it's possible to use emojis everywhere. You can use emojis for your custom statuses. For example, if you're on vacation skiing, you can use a skiing emoji in your status. And in the address book, all your colleagues will see this specific status next to your original status, which is busy, online, and don't disturb me, whatever. So please use emojis in your statuses as well. It is also possible. The next improvement is connected with avatars. We introduced the editor for avatars. Avatars could be created from your camera or uploaded from any type of image file, any size, whatever, because now you can crop, rotate, mirror, and select the spotlight, the circle, which will be used as an avatar. We also increased the size of avatars. They're a little bit larger, not full HD, but a little bit larger. So now it's also possible to open the profile of your colleague and click on his or her avatar to see it larger. So now you can preview avatars in a little bit higher resolution.
So now you don't need to move closer to your to your laptop.
Before it was like very low resolution, like 64 or 128 by 128. Now it is 500 by 500 pixels, I believe. But the idea is to help people to upload larger images because avatar is important part of the corporate life. Some people would like to share some important events of their lives using avatars to not just a custom status, but many things can be used, can be done with that. So we fully understand that. And the first step was to introduce the editor. So you don't need to create a specific size file outside of TrueConf application. You can now just upload any type of file, and we will help you to select the best view for that. Vicky, well, we're using for emojis the operating system list of emojis. So it is not we are who are changing the list of emojis. On Mac, we're using Mac font for emojis. On Windows, we're using Google set of fonts for emojis. On Linux, we also use Google set of font for emojis. So if some emoji is missing, it is because it doesn't exist in the cross-platform let's say default emoji fonts which is used globally. If you can check that the list of emojis we have is very similar to other applications because it's actually not our font, it is a system font. But if you have any, I don't know, recommendations which emojis are missing, please tell us. We will look. Maybe we can introduce some additional fonts for that. But we try to be cross-platform, and it is also important that if you copy and paste images from other sources, emails, some other messengers, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, whatever, we should be able to display that emoji in our chat. And when you create some text with emojis in our application on TrueConf, and when you share it outside, or you can use it for your avatars, some, custom status messages, we should be sure that this emoji will be correctly displayed inside TrueConf different applications, mobile applications, desktop application, or room application. So emojis should be universal. That's why we stick for default fonts which are provided by Windows, Google, and Apple. It is very important to stick to that. Okay, another improvement which will really help a lot of users is connected with the process how you add new participants to your conference. Before, you need to click on a specific button to add a new participant to the conference. But now you don't need to click add a participant button. You can start to search for participant inside the search panel, and we will automatically show you suggestions that that user is not part of this conference, but you can invite him or her to that conference. So I will ask my colleague Ivan to show that. And while Ivan is preparing, Vicky, GIF files, yeah, GIFs are quite popular. I think we do not have all playback of GIF files at the moment, but you can copy and paste GIF files, and you need to download it and open it to see the animation, but we need to automatically play back GIF files. Thank you. We will check that. We'll check that. Ivan, please
Okay.
go.
Yes. Now show.
So just stop, Ivan, please stop. So what Ivan done at the moment, he has a conference, and you can see, Ivan, please delete all the letters in the search field, that we have some participants in that conference. And when we really want to add some other participants to that conference, instead of clicking add participant button, which is here, we don't want to click it. We now can start to type the name or conf ID or IP address of the participants we're looking for, or the room name, for example, and we can invite that participant to the conference just by clicking the plus icon next to him. So now it is possible to filter not just participants, but to also filter all your address book and to decide should you invite contacts filtered here as participants of the conference or not. Ivan, thank you. Can you please also show us the conference with mobile users, with most of the videos are vertically orientated? There's also a new feature on this application. You have to
Yes.
stop this conference and create a new one, I believe. So thank you, Ivan. So you can see that if most of the participants of the conference connected from their mobile phones, or they have vertical camera, in some cases like kiosks, there are more and more cases when people are sending vertical video. So now we fully support that. That means we're not just cropping a video and display the vertical video with some fields, additional bars, black bars, or let's say blurred bars on the sides. We can fully display in our layout the vertical videos. And for example, in this case, it could be, Vlad, can you please disable the microphone?
Yes.
Thank you. So in this case, it could be, let's say, HD resolution, but not 1280 by 720. It could be 720 by 1280. So it is a full scale HD resolution, but rotated one. And we added support for such participants in the application. So now vertical participants are treated as a vertical participants, not like horizontal participants. So you don't see the bars on the left and right from such participants. So we can create denser, more compact layouts when you have a mix of vertical and horizontal participants in your conference. Again, creating a more better experience for the conferences, for your users, and eliminating the black space behind your layout background. And the change is happen automatically if you have more people with a vertical oriented layout. The layout for the user is vertically oriented. If you have more horizontally oriented users in your conference, the layout will be horizontally oriented. In the next version, we will continue to improve this, and we will be able to mix in a better way in the different constructions like Tetris, the vertical and horizontal oriented users. But at the moment, we support two different scenarios with most users are vertical or most users are horizontal. Usually you will never see it from the desktop, but with cases when a lot of mobile users are joining the conference, it could be very helpful because you can make larger to put the priority on the user from the vertical oriented video. And right now you can see it. We can create a very nice larger video that just user without additional information. Ivan, can you please remove horizontally oriented users from the layout? Just drop them. You can right click above the video as well. Yes, and Margaret. So you can see that layout is automatically adjusted, and we see more and more cases where vertical orientation is really required. It could be vertically oriented screens. Some people work from vertically oriented screens. It could be a video kiosk for customer support care, for example. And right now our application fully support those vertical cases. So you can mix different sources and they will look nice without some bars in the layout. Okay, Ivan, thank you. Self-view can also be vertical. So if you rotate your camera, we will only capture your image and we will send you image in the full scale resolution. If your camera is capable of this rotation, we can use it to send it to the conference as well. And the last slide and the last feature is about the new algorithm for noise reduction, because noise reduction is based on the CPU, not GPU. Very few users, they have GPUs, and we're not able to rely on GPUs. I mean dedicated video cards. So we apply audio signal processing on the CPU, and this noise reduction process is very hungry for resources, for CPU resources. So we introduce from this version the new algorithm, the new noise processing feature, which is suitable for less powerful computers. So now we have two different noise processing models for, let's say, the regular laptops and computers and older computers. So even people with old computers, let's say old generation of Intel i-Core processors, third generation, fourth generation, will be able to benefit from the noise reduction using this new feature. And actually we did more. We introduced the power saving modes inside the application, which are automatically applied for VDI environments when you are having a thin client and a virtual machine with your desktop located somewhere else. It is very common in enterprise deployments. So those power saving modes allow us to significantly lower the usage of the CPU. For example, in this case, you can see on the screenshot the balanced mode, which is automatically enabled in VDI environments. It is also automatically enabled on Mac laptops when your battery is running low. So balanced mode significantly decrease the quality of outgoing video. So the video which is encoded on your site and sent to the conference is minimized, which significantly reduce the load on the CPU. We also disable all AI features like noise suppression, virtual backgrounds, face tracking, whatever, they are disabled. We also disable all animations. We disable some UI improvements like rounded video windows, transparent windows. So we disable that because when you are connected using RDP to VDI environment, you don't need that. But the rendering of such features are very hungry for resources, especially for built-in video card. So we have to disable them to significantly save the battery usage and CPU usage. By default, power saving mode is disabled for everybody, but if you want, you can enable it at any moment. So you can try to enable that on, let's say, older computers, and it will improve the user experience for users immediately. In addition to the balanced mode, we have a maximum power saving mode, which actually disables your camera, which actually disables the incoming video streams from other participants. So when you have a maximum power saving mode, every conference become audio conference, and some other tweaks are also applied to save the battery usage and to even lower use the CPU. That was the latest feature of the TrueConf application 8.4. There are some other features we are not highlighted yet, but those features will be available when we release the new version of our server 5.4 from the same application. But when connected to the current version of our server, only features we mentioned will be available. So I'd like to remind that we have a very nice communities in WhatsApp and Telegram for our users and system administrators, with our technical support team and product team available there. So if you have any issues, any ideas, any problems you'd like to troubleshoot, don't hesitate to get in touch with our team, with us as a vendor, using those communities. So we'll be able to directly assist you any moment. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. The application we described is already available on our website, so you can download it right now. Okay, thank you, Vicky, for your questions. Very nice questions. Okay, because we have a community, we are not stopping our interaction, so feel free to get in touch with me and Maria in our communities.
Yeah.
We're both available there.
We are also active there, always active. Feel free to reach us in our social networks too, in LinkedIn and Facebook, on YouTube. There will be a recording of this webinar on our YouTube channel.
So we are always available for you. We'd like to wish you a very nice day or evening, and we're looking forward to see you next week. Maybe in 2 weeks, I'm sorry, in 2 weeks, we will deliver the next update of our Room application, which is called TrueConf Room. The new version we just released for TrueConf Room, which is 4.3. We're going to cover it in 2 weeks in our next webinar. So stay tuned. Thank you for your time and have a nice day.
Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye.